you're a millennial with no savings or investments, God told me to tell you, we're not doing that in 2025. Don't shoot the messenger. Hey friend, if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. You already know you're a real one and I appreciate you. If you are new, welcome to My Ambitious Plans. I'm Jean Marie, a millennial wife and mom of two on an ambitious journey to become debt-free before I turn 45. If you enjoy digital planning and budgeting content, then I invite you to go ahead and subscribe to my channel because why not? My hopes is that by the end of this video, you'll have a simple step-by-step budget that works for you today and that can gradually be built upon as you progress towards achieving your financial goals. And if you stay until the end, I will show you something that will get rid of all that unorganized chaos surrounding your finances, so you can feel confident and enjoy the journey towards financial independence. Recently, I had to deplete my emergency savings due to a job loss. So now that I'm back working with a somewhat steady income and we're walking into 2025, I figured this was the perfect time to redo my budget from scratch. First, let me start off by saying that budgeting is categorized under personal or business finance. For us, we're talking about personal finance, so that's what we're going to stick with. And as the first word states, personal finance. My finances are going to be personal to me, as well as your finances will be personal to you. No two budgets are alike. So while you're out in these YouTube streets watching the budgeting videos, please don't compare your budget to anyone else's expenses, spending, or income. That was one mistake I made when I first started, and it will negatively affect your money mindset. So why budget? First off, budgeting is not for everybody. Some people don't even believe in budgeting because they assume it's too restrictive. But I can tell you who needs to budget. A budget is for you if you are tired of living paycheck to paycheck. A budget is for you if you have debt and no savings. And a budget is definitely for you if you got paid 2 days ago and you're already in the negative. Meanwhile, most of your non-negotiable bills aren't even paid yet. And please don't think that I'm judging because truth be told, she was once me. First number I start with is my monthly income. I need to know how much I'm bringing in. Normally, I know my monthly income range, but being that I recently just started the new job and my hours vary depending on me picking up extra shifts. So right now I have to rely on an average for my current monthly income, just pretty much until it like levels out and becomes a little bit more predictable. So all I did was I went into my online banking account and I pulled all the income from the last 3 months just to give me an average for my monthly income, which was really easy because I have all my money going into one single account and then I disperse it and tell it where to go. But if you have consistent income and know exactly what your paychecks will be every week or 2 weeks, then you're good money. And if your income is inconsistent like mine's right now, then start with the lowest average month just to play it safe. This number is important because you will know right away if you got more months than money or if you got more money than months. Comment below and let me know, do you have steady income or variable income like mine's? Next, I'm going to list all my expenses, my fixed expenses like rent, car note, car insurance, all that good stuff. And I also list my monthly subscriptions under fixed too. Then my variable expenses such as eating out, my coffee and Red Bull, household stuff, and etc. will go under the variable expenses. So I normally don't list or list my expenses in my budget planner. I track that on a Google budget planner, and I've been tracking my expenses for some months now. But if you are like brand new to budgeting, this is something that you might want to do even before you get your income. You want to track your expenses for a couple of months, or at least, like a couple of months, just to see how you move with your money. So if you don't know your expenses yet, you're going to want to get real familiar with your last 3 months bank statements so you can, pretty much get an idea of how you spend and move through these streets with your money. From this point on, you should be tracking your expenses, all your expenses. You should be tracking. Like from this point on, you should be tracking all your expenses. And I did a video recently on how to track your expenses. I will leave a link in the description. So after you watch this video, you can go watch that one. And you know what? Don't worry. I will remind you about it later. So right now I'm looking up at my monitor for my Google Sheet for all my expenses that I've tracked for like last month. So I'm pretty good with my expenses. Only thing that is, just not consistent for me right now is my income because of, like what we said earlier. So my expenses are pretty much, okay for the moment. So I have a good idea of my expenses. So this is all my monthly expenses, both fixed and variable. I'm a zero-based budgeter, but there are other methods you can experiment with if this one doesn't work for you. Just for the sake of, today in my budget, like I use zero base, so I'll be showing you that method. But besides zero base, there is the 50-30-20 where you divide your budget into like these 3 pie slices and you give like 50% to your needs, and then it's 30% to your wants, and 20 goes to savings and or debt. After that, there is also the envelope system, which is so perfect for people who overspend. Personally, I have always had the most success with the zero-based budget, and I did try both the envelope and the 50-30-20 method. They just didn't work for me in my lifestyle because I just find that zero-based is easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Just subtract your expenses from your income with the ultimate goal of having $0 left, meaning you are intentionally telling your money where to go. You always want to cover your 4 walls first, which is my M8. These are all my 8 main bills that I have to pay. These are my 4 walls, including my transportation. These are my non-negotiables. I call it M8 because it's my main ones, and there's 8 of them. So now that now that I have my expenses, so this is where all the numbers come together and do the tango to see if I will have more money than months or the other way around. Okay, so now we're going to complete the tango of the numbers. I am now on the monthly budget page. So I have already moved over my fixed and variable expenses, which we had on my previous expense page. And I also went ahead and added any debt payments as well as any savings and investing that I plan on doing for the month. For the month of January, I'm not focusing on any investing. I want to more, put my money towards rebuilding my emergency fund as well as some sinking funds and some saving challenges. So what we're going to do now is we're going to total up each section, each category. So let's start with, we have fixed and variable. So let's do our fixed and variable plus 52 plus 75 plus 100 plus 250 plus 300 plus 100 plus 75 equals $27.94. So we have a total of $27.94 for my fixed and variable expenses. The $27.94 for fixed and variable expenses, and then now we have our debt reduction, which is $189 equals $581. Okay, so now we're going to total up every category, and we are going to subtract all the expenses from the income. So we have $27.94 plus $594 plus $581 equals $3,969. The total expenses is $3,969, and the income we said before was $4,000. So we're going to subtract $3,969 from $4,000. And that leaves me with $31, which I like to leave a buffer in my checking account just in case there's anything that I forgot or anybody just wants to come in and have a party in my checking account. There's something in there to cover it so I can prevent a overdraft fee. So that is it. So this is my monthly budget. And then from here, I will go in every week reflecting of this. I will do a bi-weekly paycheck budget just to make sure that I'm coming in and being more tight with my budgeting. And if you're not doing a weekly paycheck budget or a bi-weekly paycheck budget, I would highly recommend that you still come in. If you're just going solely off of your monthly budget, I would recommend that you come in at least once a week just to make sure that you are staying within your budget for each category. Because if you don't take time to mind your money, things can go a little haywire. So you'll definitely want to check in, especially when you're tracking your expenses. You want to make sure that you're staying within your budget for each category so you don't go over. And at the end of the month, everything can total out to what you said it was going to total out to. For me, it's going to be $31. And I like to just label that as buffer or just in case. That's the plan B right there. All right. And if you don't have a template, this can be done in a notebook. Go get you a ring binder notebook or a composition notebook, and you can do your budget. Basically lay it out just like this in a regular notebook. Like I said, if you stay till the end, I definitely have something that I want to show you to help you make all of this easier and keep you organized. Also, just remember that budgeting is flexible. So don't think that the numbers that you wrote here are in stone, except for your debt minimum payments at least, and pretty much your fixed bills. Anything else like your variable expenses, you can adjust those categories if you overspend or underspend. Like say for instance, you overspend in household. When I do that, I'll have to just go into my grocery money and adjust that number to compensate so I don't go over my entire budget. Or I'll just go into gas and reduce that and compensate there. And vice versa, the other way around as well. If you overspend in another category or if you underspend, just like I said, you can just tweak the numbers to make them work for you. And then the following month, you can adjust your entire budget if you feel like that's going to be the ongoing amount for that category. If you feel like you're always going to spend $350 instead of $300 on groceries, maybe just allocate $350, budget for $350 to go to groceries. And you'll probably have to cut somewhere else, somewhere that you feel like or see that you're not spending as much, or somewhere that is unnecessary. Take the money from there and put it into another category so you don't go over your budget. When you first start out, you're going to be changing numbers. You're going to be moving things around to see what works and what doesn't work until you find something that does work and stick with that, and you'll be straight. If you're at the beginning of your budgeting journey, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start tracking your expenses, like I said earlier, and then focus on building an emergency fund of a minimum of $1,000. To make that easier, I recommend just automating your savings every week or every 2 weeks or so. Do an automatic bank transfer to a high yield savings account, not a regular savings account, a high yield savings account where you can accrue more interest and let your money work for you. So you're going to automate whatever amount to a high yield savings account, whether it's weekly or bi-weekly, so you can start building that emergency fund. Once your emergency fund is at least a minimum of $1,000, you're not stopping there. You're still going to want to build upon that. But now we're going to start going more heavier on debt. Okay, so if you haven't taken any notes up until this point, now you're going to want to pause this video, grab a pen and paper or a budget planner if you already have, and it has a section for notes. You're going to want to write this part down because we're going to recap. To summarize the steps, you're going to want to know your income, list your expenses, choose a budgeting method, whether it's the 50-30-20, zero-based, envelope method, whichever you feel will work best for you and your lifestyle. And then you're going to want to continue to track your spending and adjust and improve. And you're going to want to check in at least weekly with your budget just to make sure that you're staying on track and you're not going over. Okay, so remember earlier I mentioned that I had something that would help you eliminate the chaos and keep you organized. So I do have a Master Plan Finance Edition for 2025. It is undated and it will come with multiple covers. It was just launched this year, the 2025 Master Plan Finance Edition. It is a digital and or printable planner. I have both versions available, and it will help you keep your finances organized. It has sections for your bank accounts, your credit cards, your passwords, monthly budgeting, and also for the digital, it is hyperlinked to make it more easier to navigate through the planner. So this is now available on my website. I will leave a link in the description below if you're interested in trying it out. And also there is a link in the description below as well to a free personal finance starter kit, which is like a little mini bundle just to get you started. So it comes with a couple of templates. You can use this whether you want to do it digitally or print it out. And it will come with a few pages. So you'll start with your monthly budget, which is definitely needed. Your expense tracker, because we're going to track those expenses. A savings fund tracker. I would make this for my emergency fund. Make it fun to save, as well as a debt repayment tracker. So like I said, this is available. You can print this out or you can even use this digitally. Good Notes, Notability, all those note annotation apps. Both links will be in the description below. Check them out. And as I mentioned earlier, said I was going to remind you to go ahead and watch this video right here. So as always, ladies, continue becoming wiser, stronger, and better every day.